This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. You don't see me holding one of these very often, but I play one quite a bit. All of the music that you hear on this channel all has a bass line to it, and it's always played by me. And that brings me to the topic of today's video. It's Tuesday, which means we're doing a top 5 list, and what I thought I'd go through today is, the top 5 reasons why I think every guitarist should pick up a bass from time to time, starting with
employability.
Yeah, put simply, it makes you more employable. If you can play 2 instruments rather than 1, then you've doubled your chances of being in a band, basically. And if, like me, you play music for a living, then that has, knock-on effects or implications, I should say, for your ability to pay the bills. But even if you're just playing for a hobby, if you can get out there and play with other people and play in front of people, a little bit more, then that has to be beneficial for you. We can all be, superstars in the spare bedroom, like I am at the moment, or just closeted away at home playing and sounding fantastic. But you really do need that experience of getting out there and locking into a groove with other musicians, and kind of having the confidence to stand up in front of people on your hind legs and play, convincingly. Now you've got an audience. A lot of people find it off-putting, and if you double your chances of getting into that situation by doubling the number of instruments you can play, it's got to be a good thing. So yes, it makes you more likely to be able to play in a band or with other people or at a jam night or whatever. Just pick up a bass and you've now got another string to your bow, if a bass has a bow. Anyway, you know what I mean. Next.
Looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, it helps you see the bigger picture. As guitarists, we often get locked into our own little world of guitarness, I suppose. And you can come up with what you think is a fantastic part for this song or that song. But is it really? Well, it sounds good when you kind of jam it at home, but is it going to fit with what the bass player's doing, with what the drums are doing, and so on? By basically picking up another instrument, what you're doing is you're changing your perspective and you're listening to what the guitar is doing from the perspective of another band member, and it makes you kind of reassess sometimes the guitar parts that you've been playing. Are they really working for the song, or aren't they? So essentially what I'm saying is that it's that old adage of, walk a mile in another man's shoes, and all of that. I can't remember how that ends, but you know what I'm saying. It gives you a different perspective. It makes you a better all-round musician, and it can take the blinkers off to just pick up another instrument and see how that works. And the other instrument to pick up is the bass is the obvious one, because it's the closest relative to the guitar. You're not going to have to learn to play the trumpet or the bagpipes or something. So anyway, it helps you see the bigger picture. That's another great reason for any guitarist to pick up a bass from time to time. Next.
Learning the fretboard.
Yes, now as guitar players, from day one, we're basically coached into a way of thinking that is, put your fingers there, it makes the right noise. And, that's as far as you get for a lot of people. And, a lot of people get good results from doing exactly that. But you don't really have chord shapes on the bass. You're constantly thinking in terms of where is the root note for that chord? Where are the other notes in that chord? If it's a major chord, it's going to be probably something like... If it's a minor chord, it's probably going to be something like that. How are you going to connect that chord to the next chord? What's a run that's going to make those chords work? How can you land on a chord tone? All of these things are massively beneficial if you're playing the guitar. It gets you thinking in terms of chord tones. It gets you thinking in terms of runs and scales that connect those chord tones. It gets you thinking in terms of intervals and all of the good stuff that you hear, all of the, the kind of high-end pro guitar players talking about all the time. Picking up a bass makes you think in those kind of terms, and that has to be beneficial. So that's another reason why all guitar players should pick up a bass from time to time. Next.
You're in control.
Yeah, you get to define the sound more than any other instrument in the band, with a possible exception of the drums. You are, kind of shaping what's going on. What I mean by that is everybody else in the band is playing a C major chord. If you play a C major chord, a C root note rather, then the audience is hearing a C major chord. But if you play an A note underneath it, then the audience is hearing an A minor 7 chord. If you play an F note underneath it, the audience is hearing an F major 9 chord. You can change the chord sequence that people are hearing simply by changing the perspective from which they're hearing the chords that the rest of the band are playing, by changing the bass note. Many, many years ago, I was in a band where I was doing a little bit of bass, and it was an originals band, and the singer-songwriter who was fronting it had come up with this magnum opus of a song that was about 6 minutes long and consisted of 2 chords. And we had to do something with it because he was insisting that this song was important to him and we needed to include it in the set, and he would hear nothing about adding more chords because its simplicity was its strength and all this kind of stuff. So, but kind of making the bass put a little bit of movement in underneath what was going on was really the secret, and we made it work, and it was a good song in the set by the time we'd finished it, and that was purely because the bass line wasn't just kind of thumping away on the root note of the chord. Sometimes the bass line that I was putting in was playing a note from outside the chord. All this kind of stuff that, again, another benefit of this is that you find out what's going on a little bit more with chord inversions and slash chords and stuff like that. It teaches you a lot of skills by approaching a song like that. So being in control of the lowest pitched note or lowest pitched instrument in the band gives you a degree of control that you don't really have otherwise. So it's another fun reason to pick up the bass. Next.
It's fun.
Yeah, it can be inspiring. We've all had times when we pick up the guitar and we just can't think of anything to play. Everything sounds stale, everything sounds tired, and, it's a little bit depressing when that happens. So pick up a bass. As I say, go to a keyboard if you want, but a keyboard is a steeper learning curve than the guitar. But pick up a bass, it's the closest relative to the guitar, and start noodling around, and you may just come up with a great new riff. Just in the sort of run-up to making this video, I started noodling around and came up with something like that, which I forgot halfway through. But, I'll probably end up doing something with that bass line, just a simple little funky guitar part, or maybe just hitting, kind of chord stabs on 2 and 4 on top of that. And, you've got a new idea for a new piece of music. It's a great way of stimulating the creativity. And, as I say, it allows you to see the guitar part from a different perspective, and just gives you, as I was saying in point 2, a better view of the bigger picture. So it can stimulate the creativity by taking a different perspective, and just kind of, it's fun is what I'm saying. So there you go. There are the 5 reasons that I would recommend that all guitar players should at some point or other pick up a bass. I wonder if you agree with me, or if you think I've just been talking rubbish for the past 9 minutes and 4 seconds. Plenty of people think I talk rubbish all the time, but anyway, that's the video for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen, and if that's the case, videos, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And if you've enjoyed the video, please drop me a like as well. Don't forget, as always, the live stream every Friday, 5 p.m. UK time, where we drink beer and talk music and guitars. What a great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.